Welcome to our detailed exploration of one of Dublin's most infamous figures, Jason O'Connor. His story is one of crime, revenge, and dramatic courtroom battles that have left a significant mark on Ireland's criminal landscape. O'Connor's involvement in violent crimes, his association with the powerful Kinahan cartel, and the intense legal battles that followed paint a chilling picture of life at the heart of organized crime. In this video, we'll dissect the complexities of his criminal career, personal vendettas, and the far-reaching consequences of his actions. Join us as we delve into the life of Jason O'Connor and uncover the layers of his turbulent existence. Jason O'Connor was born into a world where crime and violence were part of everyday life. Growing up in a tough neighborhood in Dublin, he was exposed to the harsh realities of urban crime from a young age. His environment was a breeding ground for criminal activity, with gangs like the Westies dominating the local scene. As a teenager, O'Connor was drawn into this world. The Westies, a gang notorious for its violent clashes and drug operations, became the backdrop for his early criminal career. O'Connor quickly learned the ropes of gang life, involving himself in thefts, assaults, and drug distribution. His skills and ruthlessness earned him respect and fear among his peers. By the late 1990s, the Westies were facing internal conflicts and law enforcement crackdowns, leading to their eventual disintegration. O'Connor, however, was not deterred. Instead, he adapted and sought opportunities within other criminal networks. His association with the Westies provided him with valuable connections and experience, which he leveraged as he moved into the broader world of organized crime. This early period in his life laid the groundwork for his future as a major figure in Dublin's criminal underworld. As the Westies' influence waned, Jason O'Connor found himself on the fringes of the Kinahan cartel, one of Dublin's most powerful criminal organizations. The Kinahan cartel was a force to be reckoned with, deeply entrenched in drug trafficking, arms dealing, and violent enforcement operations. O'Connor's involvement with the cartel marked a significant shift in his criminal career, elevating him from a local thug to an associate of a high-profile crime syndicate. Despite not being a top leader within the cartel, O'Connor played a critical role in various criminal activities. He was involved in violent schemes and conspiracies that were central to the cartel's operations. Evidence seized from encrypted communications revealed the extent of his involvement, including detailed plans for violent retribution and tactical operations against rival gangs. The Kinahan cartel was embroiled in a violent feud with the Hutch gang, leading to widespread bloodshed across Dublin. O'Connor's role in this conflict was significant, as he participated in and facilitated several violent acts against Hutch gang members and their associates. His involvement in the cartel not only amplified his criminal activities, but also tied him to a series of high-profile, violent incidents. A pivotal moment in Jason O'Connor's life occurred in June 2015, when his close friend Keith Walker was murdered. Walker, who had been using O'Connor's car, was mistakenly targeted by Christopher MacDonald, a hitman hired for a different target. Dressed in drag to evade detection, MacDonald fired multiple shots at Walker, leading to his tragic death. The murder was a case of mistaken identity, as Walker was an innocent bystander caught in the crossfire of a violent feud. The impact of Walker's death on O'Connor was profound. Consumed by grief and anger, he embarked on a personal crusade for revenge. O'Connor was convinced that Walker's murder was part of a larger conspiracy, and that several individuals were responsible for the act. This belief drove him to target those he suspected of being involved, further escalating the cycle of violence in Dublin. O'Connor's quest for revenge was marked by a series of violent incidents, including attempts to track and eliminate those he believed were connected to Walker's murder. His actions during this period were fueled by a personal vendetta that intensified his involvement in Dublin's criminal underworld. In December 2016, Jason O'Connor faced serious legal trouble when he was charged with conspiring to murder Charlie Cooper, an individual he blamed for his friend Keith Walker's death. The charge was grave and reflected the violent nature of O'Connor's criminal activities. The conspiracy involved detailed plans and preparations to execute a high-profile hit, demonstrating O'Connor's willingness to engage in severe criminal operations. Rather than face trial for the full charge of attempted murder, O'Connor opted to plead guilty to a reduced charge of conspiracy to murder. This strategic move was part of a broader negotiation with the prosecution, aimed at securing a lesser sentence. During this period, O'Connor's criminal activities were not limited to this single charge. His involvement in other gang-related operations was also under scrutiny, with evidence indicating that he was deeply embedded in ongoing criminal activities. The charges against O'Connor spanned from August to December 2016, a period marked by intense violence and instability in Dublin. The prosecution's case against him was bolstered by decrypted messages and evidence of his involvement in planning and executing violent operations, further complicating his legal situation. Jason O'Connor's courtroom appearances were marked by intense drama and volatility. One of the most notable incidents occurred during the trial of Christopher MacDonald, the hitman responsible for the murder of O'Connor's friend, Keith Walker. As O'Connor prepared to testify, a heated exchange erupted when MacDonald called him a rat in court. This outburst led to a near collapse of the trial, highlighting the high emotional stakes and the personal animosity between the individuals involved. The courtroom scene was chaotic, with shouting from spectators and requests from the defense to halt the proceedings. The disruption was significant enough to draw attention from the media and public, underscoring the volatility surrounding O'Connor's legal battles. Despite the turbulence, the trial continued, and MacDonald was eventually convicted for his role in Walker's murder. This episode in the courtroom not only revealed O'Connor's volatile temperament, but also underscored the high tensions and personal conflicts inherent in his legal struggles. The drama surrounding the case contributed to the overall complexity of his legal and criminal situation. Jason O'Connor's defense team worked to portray him as a man deeply affected by personal trauma and mental instability. They argued that the death of his friend Keith Walker had a devastating impact on O'Connor, leading to significant psychological distress. Evidence presented in court included claims that O'Connor was suffering from severe mental health issues and was on antipsychotic medication at the time of his criminal activities. The defense painted a picture of O'Connor as a victim of a violent and troubled environment, arguing that his upbringing and exposure to violence contributed to his criminal behavior. They emphasized the personal toll of his involvement in organized crime and the psychological impact of his experiences. Despite these claims, the court remained focused on the severity of O'Connor's criminal actions. The legal system's approach to organized crime was stringent, with little leniency for individuals involved in violent and high-profile criminal activities. O'Connor's personal struggles were acknowledged, but did not significantly alter the course of his legal proceedings. Jason O'Connor's criminal activities had a profound and far-reaching impact on Dublin's criminal landscape. His involvement in violent incidents, including the targeting of individuals he believed were responsible for his friend Walker's murder, exacerbated the already volatile environment of gang warfare in the city. The personal vendettas and gang-related feuds contributed to a cycle of violence that affected many lives. O'Connor's actions were part of a broader pattern of criminal behavior that had significant consequences for the community. The ripple effects of his involvement in organized crime included increased violence, instability, and fear within Dublin. His story serves as a stark reminder of the destructive nature of organized crime and the personal retribution that can fuel further violence. As Dublin continues to grapple with the legacy of O'Connor's criminal activities, his impact on the criminal world remains a testament to the far-reaching consequences of a life entrenched in crime. With Jason O'Connor facing a lengthy prison sentence, his future remains uncertain. The possibility of spending decades behind bars looms large, with his eventual release unlikely to occur until he is well into old age. During his incarceration, the criminal landscape in Dublin will continue to evolve, with new figures and organizations emerging in his absence. O'Connor's legacy will be shaped by his criminal career, personal vendettas, and the broader impact of his actions on Dublin's criminal underworld. His story is a complex tale of violence, revenge, and the harsh realities of organized crime. As Dublin moves forward, the consequences of O'Connor's actions will linger, serving as a reminder of the destructive potential of a life lived in the shadows of crime. Thank you for joining us in this detailed exploration of Jason O'Connor's life and criminal career. If you found this video insightful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more in-depth stories from the world of crime and justice. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we uncover another gripping tale of the criminal underworld.